Welcome, everyone, to the Reading Writing Corner. We'll step into the non-spoiler section of this review, and then we'll go on to the next one. So this is A Neon Ghost. This is actually book 1 of A Witch's Sin by Daniel E. Green. And I'm Leanne, your host. So, yeah. Don't hate me. This is part of a series called Neon Ghost, and the author did say in a recent video about his books and his book writing and everything like that he does not know when the next book is going to come out. But even though I have put the sequel Neon Ghost 2 in my Haru back there, which is unfocused right now, if I draw it, I'll have to put it back in the pot because I don't have the book, and the book doesn't exist. You can't read a book that doesn't exist, right? And I will continue reading Neon Ghost because I like the world. Put it there. Okay? So, while we read this book, it looked pretty and the blurb sounded good. I mean, like, what would you do to keep your dreams ad-free? Bruised, stoned, and still adjusting to her latest wear implants, apprentice enforcer Taya Mint plunges into the darkest depths of the megastructure 703, challenging everything she thought she knew about life within the walls she had never stepped beyond. With only one assignment left to earn her full license, Taya finally stands a chance to rebuild a life wounded by grief. But she quickly discovers that the kidnapping she's investigating is just one piece of a puzzle, one that leads to grisly death in the greedy heart of power within the structure. When evidence points to a supernatural threat as the culprit, Taya finds herself needing to rely on cold-blooded allies just to survive the hell that is 703. To save an innocent life in a world polluted by zealots, Taya will have to learn just how much it costs to face the monsters that occupy humanity's artificial Eden. What genre is this? It is sci-fi cyberpunk fantasy. Because obviously the wear is sci-fi. It is built in a cyberpunk type world where machines are everywhere. And it is definitely fantasy because it has vampires and witches. What more could you want? Oh my. Did it live up to my expectations? Yeah. It was a good book. Better than the first book in Lawful Times. Don't know about the second book in Lawful Times. Haven't read it yet. But definitely an improvement. Overall improvement. More improvement than anything. And yeah, there could have been more in here that would make more sense. Like, why does not consuming vampire blood once not change you, but twice doesn't change you, but the third time it does? Helps change you? Why is it acidic and make your body turn to ashes? Why was it a curse made by God? There's a lot of things in it that could be more clear, more concise, and it's not, and I wish it was, but there's nothing I can do about it because I'm not the author. So, yeah. There's that. There's that. So, should you go and read this story/series? If you like cyberpunk, sci-fi, fantasy all mixed in together, yes, go ahead, do so. Especially since it's got some mystery in it. Like witches, a vampire's cursed by a Martian god. Dead Martian god at that? Question mark? Like, none of that's really a spoiler of what I just said. None of that is really a spoiler of what happens in this book. None of that, if you can believe me, none of that is a spoiler for this book. It's not. So, yeah, there you go. That's if you can get over the allegations, it could be true, could be wrong. I don't know. Between the author and another person on YouTube, then yeah. Hit it up, read it. But if you don't want to and you just want to see what I've got to say about it, go to the spoiler section in just a few minutes or a few seconds. So, if you think I deserve a like, comment, or a lovely subscription, drop it down below. If you want to continue watching. Continue watching. I'm going to tell you this now. I didn't like none of the characters. None of these characters I liked at all. Kaya's stupid. Quinn's an ass. Juno is not as supportive as she should be. Oscar's a lying two-faced. Jordan's the worst two-faced bitch that I just want to bitch slap in the entire fucking world. Naomi's okay. Stubbs is kind of okay. Martin is a question mark because you don't really get to know much about him. But Robin Lambert, James Lambert, Sarah Lambert, they're all dicks. Poor Mrs. Carlson. It's a congregation of stuff. So it kicks off with Taya and her master, because she's an apprentice enforcer, Quinn, Tooplet, going to intimidate a vampire. Because that's what they do. That's what enforcers do. They get paid to do all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So they go to do that. And then he's like, well, I got one more assignment for you. You do this on your own, solo, and you'll get your enforcer license. And that basically is find a missing girl. Her name is Nita. Nita is actually magic. She has powers. She can do stuff. And she was being trained in secret by a dick bitch. And Mrs. Carlson had taken Nita in. And Mrs. Carlson was just like, you need to find Nita. And because of that, Mrs. Carlson gets unalived. Nita does too. But that's because of the bitch witch. Who was using her for her own freaking greed. Because she was trying to bring down the Labor family. And she was using to do it. And that's just dickish. You don't use children to do that kind of shit. Okay? Use adults. But don't use children. They're innocent. Innocent, to tell you. So, Taya's grief is from her lover, Sid Wallace, coming down with, I'm going to assume, cancer, and dying in bed with her. And it was just tragedy. She hasn't gotten over it. Juno's supposed to be her best friend, but when Taya, in unforeseen circumstances, become a vampire, just can't accept it. That's ties. It's kind of dickish. And by the way, Quinn is actually a labor. He's Stuart. He's supposed to be in prison, but Stuart's daddy has money and stuff and hooks him up to keep him, but ties him up in a way that makes it to where he can't do shit. And he has to obey his daddy. His younger brother, Robert, owns the club that Nita disappeared in, and is the whole reason why Taya had to become a vampire in the first place, because otherwise Taya would die because she was being snotchels and back through mysterious powers that Robert had, that James does have. We don't know what those are yet. After she becomes a vampire, she whoops a whole bunch of people's butts. Sarah Labor, Helga, is the one who tries to warn her off from getting further into the Labor family's issues. And that's what gets her killed. Should have never intervened in that way or form, and you would have been fine. Because Taya does fuck up. Like, she fucks up so bad. She fucks up to the point where Miss Carlson dies. She fucks up to where Helga dies. She fucks up to where she nearly dies. Because she goes after a vampire named Gavin, and she almost dies then. Because she tries to do a solo kill. Gavin is feeding on human blood, and he's far faster and stronger than anyone not on human blood. And it... But, it's, yeah. I don't know what else I'm going to say about that. It's just stupid how she does that without telling anybody what she's doing or how she's doing it or anything like that. She goes to beat up somebody named Paul because Paul was a bartender who gave her a lot of wrong information, such as doctored footage of Oscar, the dick that he is, manipulative dick that he is, kidnapping Nita or killing Nita. And Oscar is framed in that, of course, but he's also in contact with Jordan when Taya comes and meets with him, and it's like a script, and he's trying to draw her in because Jordan wants her, because Jordan thinks Taya could be her Reaper, who would go out and kill everybody for her, when she had never killed anybody until Gavin. And she had balked at kill contracts, but they were the fastest way to earn money. And nobody likes vampires in this. Like, they all want them dead. Except for vampires. And they want them on packed blood, which is synthesized human blood, which doesn't really take care of, it doesn't really get rid of the hunger. It just makes it to where they can function. Sort of. The closest person I could like is Stubbs, but that's because he's like cool and accepting, but he also knows when to shut things down. Like, yo, I'm not gonna give you no more wear, I'm just gonna fix you up. I'm done on that part. Not that that matters anymore, because he's kidnapped and nobody knows where he's at. And she's a vampire, and vampires can't do wear, which is just implants of things. I'd show you a picture of it, but I can't. It's on a page with a lot of naughty stuff. He did have a bike named Katya, which could climb up walls or down walls. And since the Mega Sugar has, you know, in between, so they can maintenance it, obviously. Yeah. There's that. I've glossed over a lot of stuff in this because a lot of stuff happens in this book, and there's a lot of details you don't really need to understand. And it doesn't really make any difference in whether you're not, you know. But Taya is a stupid fucking asshole. She's stupid. She's an asshole. She needs to get help, but she's just suppressing it all. And she's not healing in any way, shape, or form from what she's doing. And she makes a lot of stupid decisions because she doesn't know what she's doing. She wasn't trained to be a police officer, so she doesn't know how to investigate things properly. And she goes into investigations and fucks everything up. Like, why wouldn't you cover your tracks when you're going to track people down? Why would you not avoid being scanned or pinged, so people who are trying to look for people who are supposedly dead don't find them and murder them and then pin the blame on a innocent vampire? Why, Taya? And I can understand that Gavin betrayed her, and yes, she does kill Gavin. I'm not Gavin, but Quinn. Quinn betrayed her, and I know she kills Quinn because of that, and that's how Juno finds out and can't deal with it. Because Jordan bang everything on that, and it's just like, why? So yeah, nobody's my favorite character in this. They're all the main characters, all the important side characters are just really dicks and assholes and unlikable. Like I said, I want to read on for the world structure building that's in this, because the world is so interesting. Like, level 1 being a prison, level 2 and up to a certain type of poverty, people with barely any ads, and everything's made out of printable stuff, like print meat. How would you survive over printed food? Like, what made us humans adapt to that? And like, the books are printed, and your glasses are printed stuff, and printed wear, it makes you stronger. How does printed wear make you stronger? Like, how is a building made out of print concrete and be stable? Like, I don't know. That's what I'm into. I'm hoping things get better. We find better characters. Maybe Juno comes back and she becomes a likable character again, or maybe Taya stops being stupid, or maybe Oscar starts being up straight in front with her instead of trying to manipulate her into working for Jordan. And I just want Jordan to die. Jordan just needs to die. Okay, so there's that. My most disliked character is Jordan. I don't like Jordan. I don't care that she's not really the bad guy in this and that James is. She's my most disliked character because she is the reason why Taya becomes a vampire, is the reason why a bunch of people die that didn't have to die. Her. She's it. What's so memorable is the way the world was built. The imagined world. Like having ads in your head because you have implants in your head that let you have a HUD where you can see things. You're in a virtual world and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that stuff. And that's what I'm here for. Make sure you understand. I'm here for the world building, not the characters. The world building and the plot. That's what's got me, okay? So I do have a favorite passage and I do have a favorite quote. My favorite passage from the story is, and she was a prisoner without even the faintest idea of how to break out of her prison because she's a prisoner to Jordan. And I think it's pretty cool that she understands that, she acknowledges it, and she doesn't know that she has no way to break out currently. Unless she learns how to do magic. Or gets stronger as a vampire. My favorite quote is from Sid because Jordan does something and Sid comes to Taya. She goes, T, I never blamed you. Please, believe me. I loved you. I loved you until the very end. So that's what Sid says. He says that to her in that scope. And they do have some have fun times. And it's all soul. It's all her soul having that fun times. So that's pretty cool. What about the ending of the book? What mess is waiting for them in the next Mega Struggle? Will Taya ever be free again? Will we find somebody that's not an asshole or manipulative and just straight up a good person? Who knows? What book did it remind me of? Technically number 6 because it is dystopian. This is also dystopian. This book is a dystopian world because Earth has a haze around it and nothing on Earth can live, so they all live in mega structures, big ass things that go up instead of sideways, and yeah, you can't ever leave it, and they control you and everything you do in there, because obviously if you can't leave it, you're boxed in. And of course it does have those who are poverty and those who are rich and really rich, you know. This book is part of a series called Neon Ghosts. This is first in the series. There's no telling how many books it will end up being, nor when they will come out. Considering this book came out, I think this year? Let me find... No, it came out in 2023. So, yeah. So, yeah. I rate this a 4 because it would have been better with better characters. It's a 4 because of the world building. If there was better characters, it would have been like a 5. But Taya is not a good person. Nor is any of them. And until they bring in some good characters or Taya improves everything, it's just gonna be that way. With that, this is the end of my review. If you think I deserve a like, comment, or your lovely subscription, drop it down below. I will see you next illusion.